Welcome everybody to the Real Wrestling Community Tailgate Party. I am your host, Majestic Marie. It is Wednesday, and you guys know what that means. That means we are here to preview tonight's AEW Dynamite. I will also be going over some results from AEW All Out from this past Sunday in Chicago. It was an interesting show to say the least, and we will go into all of that. First of all, if you are here, please leave me a comment, join the conversation. We always have a good time here on Wednesday afternoons, and I am so happy to be here this afternoon. And let me see who I have already. Hello, Christine. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for joining us on YouTube. And my friend Randy Taylor is here. Thank you so much for joining me as well. All right, guys, you all know what that means. Before we get into the show, we always have the Briscoe brothers get us ready. So here we go.
Ain't no way, chick. Ain't ready. There ain't no way, man. Ain't ready. Ain't no way y'all could possibly be ready.
You can say you're ready as many times as you want.
That's all I'm gonna tell you.
Y'all boys ain't ready.
There's no way, man.
Always love the Briscoe brothers. Really sad about Jay not being here. Before we get into tonight's show, we are going to, I'll go ahead and give the All Out, the results from All Out this Sunday. So here we go. The Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships was first on the show. I know there's some stuff that happened on 0 Hour, but I'm not going to get into all that. I really don't have the time. Sorry. But we will do the main card. Here on the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships, Adam Cole and MJF, Better Than You, baby, defended their Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships versus the Dark Order. The Dark Order being a heel in this instance, and I am guessing that they are going to be heels from now on, just from the way they acted in this match, from Evil Uno to John Silver. Everybody was pretty acting like heels, and they've been acting on heels on social media as well. So there was a lot of good spots. MJF selling his neck pretty well. He was out of the match for a little while after a chair shot to the neck by one of the Dark Order guys. He was out of the match for a little while. It looked like Adam Cole was all by himself to defend these titles, but MJF came back, saved the day. He ended up getting to do the kangaroo kick. I will get a kangaroo kick button soon, I promise. And they also hit the double clothesline, and those guys got the win. 1, 2, 3. Cole and MJF are still your Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions against the Dark Order. But the most interesting thing that happened with MJF is not what happened during the match, it's what happened afterwards. Samoa Joe going ahead and making his entrance for his match that he had and shoving MJF out of his way, very similarly to the NXT, to a clip that emerged from NXT a couple years ago, where he shoved MJF when MJF was an extra one time. And MJF did not like that very much, so he ran it back into the ring and attacked Joe head on, and those two guys had to be pulled apart, and the entire roster had to come out to pull those two guys apart. So MJF versus Samoa Joe for the world title at some point. I think that'll be an interesting. Program for MJF. Samoa Joe is definitely a formidable opponent. He looks like he eats people for breakfast, so it's very believable that he could take the title off of MJF. I wouldn't necessarily take the title off of MJF right now, but we will see what happens going forward. Samoa Joe possibly being MJF's opponent for Wrestle Dream, I guess. So we will see what happens. Let me see what you guys say. Hello, Alma. I hope you are doing well. I'm doing great. And let me see what else what was next. The TNT title was also on the line with Luchasaurus versus Darby Allin. This was brutal, to say the least. Darby Allin did try to fight back, but he just was not enough for Luchasaurus. Luchasaurus ended up retaining his title, and he just kind of manhandled Darby Allin through this entire match, and he looked like a beast, to say the least, with Christian Cage in his corner. It was pretty one-sided, and Darby has said that his spine is not doing too well after that coffin spot 2 weeks ago on All In. So I'm sure he's not feeling too good right now, and just that manhandling of Luchasaurus just made him look even stronger, and wondering, okay, who's going to take this title off of Luchasaurus? Sorry, my throat is getting dry already. My allergies have been bothering me. Let's see, what do you guys think? Christine says that would be a good match. Very good match. Too hot. Yes, it is very too hot. Got to stay indoors. Poor Darby. It was a ragdoll for him. That wasn't a smart match for him. Yeah, well, you got to do what you got to do. Darby is your white meat baby face to a T. He is going to play the underdog in almost every scenario. And sometimes he's going to get ragdolled. I mean, last year when I was at Dynamite, he got ragdolled by Brody King. That was pretty rough too. So Darby Allin plays that underdog very well. Okay, up next, we had Miro versus Powerhouse Hobbs. And this match, I think, was match of the night. The crowd was into it. They made it even better by just yelling meat and meat forever and all this other kind of stuff. And I wanted to have the big meaty men slapping meat clip on today, but I don't have my regular equipment, so I wasn't able to make it. I'm so sorry. But this match was hard-hitting. It was fun. The crowd was into it. And then at the very end, Miro won. But Powerhouse Hobbs, they did this very well. I was very worried about this match. I was like, oh no, with a definite winner, somebody's going to look bad. And I was getting flashbacks of when Wardlow and Powerhouse Hobbs were fighting over the TNT Championship, and both guys just looked awful after that. This is not the case. Miro did win. However, at the very end, Miro did extend his hand. No, Powerhouse Hobbs extended his hand to Miro. They shook hands, but Powerhouse Hobbs ended up attacking Miro from behind, beating him down, and CJ Perry, Miro's wife, formerly known as Lana, made her debut onto this show, kind of trying to give Miro a fighting chance. Powerhouse Hobbs leaves the ring. CJ Perry is looking at her husband. Miro turns and walks away from her because, like we have talked about in the past, and like Miro has said in a lot of his vignettes, that he is renouncing his God, his wife, everything. And so, this is where we're at right now. And I guess it is going to be up to CJ Perry, his wife, to redeem Miro and come back to his senses. I don't know what's going on here, but it's interesting. It's fun. I love Miro to death. And CJ Perry being in this role with her husband, trying to bring him back, is a fun little tidbit in the story as well. I was wondering when they were going to bring her into it, and I'm happy to see that she's there. I feel bad for him, yes. It was for sure insane. Yes, they are still married in real life. This is all just part of storyline. They are still married, in fact. It is all good. Okay, next up, we had the TBS women's title. Chris Statlander defending against Ruby Soho. Ruby having Saraya and Toni Storm, her outcasts proteges, there with her at the sidelines. But there is trouble in paradise. Toni Storm came in late as they were halfway down the ramp. Then Toni Storm joins them and comes down. And it looked like Saraya was going to hand the spray paint to Ruby in order for her to win the match. But Toni Storm grabs it and takes it away. And that led to Chris Statlander being able to fight back and win the match and retain her title. And now there is trouble in paradise. Toni Storm is now on the outs of the, she's outcasted from the outcasts, I guess you would say. And they're bringing her out of that. I don't know if I would make her the face or them the heels or vice versa. I don't know what we would do in this situation. But this new character of Toni Storm, where she looks like a disgruntled 1945 housewife, is perfect. I love this new character. She's really embracing it very well. I love what she's doing. And hopefully she can do really great things in this role. And I think it really works well. With her not winning the title, it just makes her deep dive right back into it even more. Very cool, wasn't sure. Yep, it's all good. And let's see what's also next for Chris Statlander. We'll talk about her more on the show for tonight as well. So moving on Sunday night, next up we had a strap match. This match was supposed to have been CM Punk versus Ricky Starks, and this was supposed to be the main event of the show for the AEW Real Championship. That obviously is scrapped because if you do not know the news, I'm sure you do, if you haven't been living under a rock, you know that CM Punk is officially terminated from AEW. He is no longer with the company. They asked him to leave for good. He got the pink slip, I guess you would say. And I'm not getting into all of that mess. It's very dividing. It's very controversial. I have my own thoughts about what happened. I'm kind of sitting on the fence a little bit. It's really hard to tell who to believe and who not to believe. But instead of being divisive and negative and everything like that, I want to stay positive and just focus on AEW moving forward. And hopefully their locker room can mend from this and grow even stronger and even better, and that they can continue to put on good shows and just move forward. So that's what we are hoping for. Anyway, we had Ricky Starks versus Bryan Danielson in this strap match. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat did join the guys on commentary and just adding a little bit more flavor to this story and the validity of it, of having Ricky Steamboat. Obviously, Ricky Steamboat could not be in this match. He is older as well, but having Bryan Danielson get in his stead and fighting on his behalf in this match against Ricky Starks. Ricky Starks did not win. Bryan Danielson did. But Ricky Starks really shined and really pulled through and really helped Bryan Danielson through this, because this was Bryan Danielson's first match since he broke his arm all the way at Forbidden Door. So he needed some help through this, and Ricky Starks was the man for the job, rose to the occasion, and him and Bryan Danielson had a great match. It was very brutal. You should see the pictures on social media with Ricky Starks' back. It horrible looking, but some really great stuff. Bright future for Ricky Starks. This nothing but the sky is the limit for him. I'm looking forward to seeing what he does. If he could be the top heel on Collision, that would be so cool. Like I said before, moving him to Collision at the beginning of that show has been the best thing to happen for him and his character. And I'm so excited to see him over there and just knocking stuff out of the park. His stuff with CM Punk in the past, has been great. And this match with Bryan Danielson has been great. And him just getting mad and taking all of his frustrations out on Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and now on Bryan Danielson has been just absolutely perfect. Love, love, love what Ricky Starks is doing right now. See what you guys say. Oh, hello, Ray. He says, hello, Adam Cole is king. He should be champ. Happy 25-pound orange lost. He stinks like chip sauce. Well, we will talk about Orange Cassidy in just a few moments, but because it's been so long, Ray, all day, since you've been here on the show, I have a little special gift for you. Just for you, my friend, little Adam Cole. All right. Next up. My favorite match of the night, obviously. As far as characters and wrestlers go, we have Eddie Kingston and Shibata versus the Blackpool Combat Club, meaning Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta. This match was fun. The pure hatred that Eddie Kingston has for Claudio is it's amusing at this point. I love it. This is Eddie Kingston every time he looks at Claudio.
I hate you. I hate the air that you breathe. I hate the fact that you're even living. You make me sick.
I love it. This match was good. Shibata, good gracious, can he hit hard? Those were some impressive chops that he had. Although, however, the BCC did unfortunately go over on Eddie and on Shibata. Kingston was right back up on his feet, though, so he still looked strong in this match. And I really think, guys, this is my hope anyway, the hatred between, like I said, the hatred between Eddie Kingston and Claudio Castagnoli is so great right now that there is only one logical path, okay, within this storyline. And we have to have this. And I am pleading and begging Tony Khan to listen, that we are all clamoring for this by now. We need Eddie Kingston to challenge Claudio Castagnoli for the Ring of Honor World Championship at Arthur Ashe in 2 weeks, and let it main event and let Eddie go over and have his moment. Do it, Tony Khan. Do it now, please. We are begging you. Please do it. This would be me if it happens. All right, let me see what you guys say. Timothy, my friend, is here. It's Wednesday. You know what that means. Time for our host, Majestic Marie, to get us hyped up for tonight's show. Jamie Hayter and Katana Chance are still queens. Ray says, I am going to Queens to see Eddie beat Claudio. Yay! Yes. Timothy. How dare you? Timothy. Go, Claudio. Go, Claudio.
Fight me. Fight me. Fight me. Fight me. Fight me. Don't fight me.
coming on to my show with that mess.
How rude.
It would be an amazing match. It would be an amazing match, Christine. There we go. Finally got it up. Sorry. My Chromebook is a little slow. Not as good as my my laptop. But this is what I have while I'm on the road. So there you go. All right. Looking forward to that. Hopefully that happens. It should happen. It should. It better. It better. Cole should beat Mox and win his belt or beat MJF after he wins this tournament. Yeah, I know you love being the heel, Timothy. We'll see what happens. I think they're going to go along with the Adam Cole and MJF thing for a little while. They're going to, that's going to be a slow build. That's going to be a slow build. Next up, we had a one-on-one match, and it was Kenny Omega versus Takeshita. This match was okay. I actually enjoyed this match, and I'm not usually big on Kenny Omega, but it was really good. Takeshita pulled out the surprise, the upset of the century, I guess you would say, and beat Kenny Omega once again. So this is not just once, but twice within a 2-week span that Takeshita has pinned Kenny Omega. And it's quite interesting. This is not over yet. We, I don't know what they're going to do moving forward, but Kenny Omega is going to have to get his one up on Takeshita pretty soon. And so there you have it. Not a bad match. Takeshita goes over. And in fact, I believe, let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 matches on this card. We had the heels going over. It's quite interesting. Next up, we had the Bullet Club Gold versus the Young Bucks and FTR. This match was really long, and it was really late. I think it came on at like 11:30 or so, and I was already exhausted, so I thought that this match was too long. I'm going to have to go back and rewatch it when I'm not so tired, because I just was not in it at the moment. But there were some really cool spots. I thought that Dax Harwood and Nick Jackson doing the Shatter Machine together was a really cool spot. There was a lot of false finishes, and it just felt like it dragged on and on and on. And I was like, okay, please, can you please end? Can you please end? But the match overall was fine. I just thought it was a little too long, my opinion. And the Bullet Club Gold ended up getting the win over FTR and the Young Bucks. And that creates more dissension between the Young Bucks and FTR. So that's interesting that they're continuing on with that. And yeah, good job on the Bullet Club Gold. Juice Robinson is so much fun to watch. He has that look, and he's entertaining, and he just has that crazy hair and the crazy outfit, and you can't keep your eyes off of him. And he's the most interesting thing in that group. I love Jay White, though. I love Jay White. He should absolutely be the leader of that. But Juice Robinson is by far the funniest and the most fun to watch. So good job. Good job on that. Christine says, Tim has an ornery streak in him. Yeah. Timothy says, didn't watch the pay-per-view because the card wasn't very interesting to me, plus college football was on that night. Yeah, I get it, but it actually pulled through, and it ended up being worth the money. But I understand, spending that much money within a week span on wrestling isn't always doable. But we had people over and had a good time, so we made a little thing out of it. Next up, we had the main event. The International Championship was on the line, and it was Orange Cassidy versus Jon Moxley. And guys, I'm about to make some surprising announcements regarding this match. And y'all aren't going to believe it. This is going to be you guys after I'm done.
Fight me! Fight me! Fight me! Fight me! Fight me! Don't fight me!
Orange Cassidy and Jon Moxley put on a really great match, and I enjoyed every second of it. They actually told a story. Can you believe that? They told a story. Orange Cassidy wasn't a complete goofball the entire time. He sold stuff. He sold injuries. And he's the one who bled. So he was a blood orange that night, not a regular orange. And Jon Moxley did not. I mean, it's crazy. Jon Moxley did not bleed, but Orange Cassidy did. They told a story. They were in the ring the majority of the time. Can you believe that too? And it was good back and forth. There was a time when Orange Cassidy just didn't do the entire match. I mean, there was a few little things. He did do his funny little kicks, but there towards the end, you could see the desperation on his face, and he really started to fight, and you could see the caring that Orange Cassidy was demonstrating. He was like, this title means everything to me. I'm going to fight until I have no energy left. And he was bleeding like crazy too. He was worse than Ric Flair on several, there for a little while. I was a little worried. And I was like, oh, wow, I really like this match. I really like Orange Cassidy right now. I even like Jon Moxley. They're telling an amazing story, and I'm caring about what happens. And usually I don't. I'm going to be honest. Usually when Orange Cassidy comes out, I don't really care what he's doing because he looks like he doesn't care what he's doing. So therefore, I just check out. And Jon Moxley, usually he does the same old thing. I'm going to roll out of the ring at the 30-second mark. I'm going to stay out at ringside for the majority of the match, and I'm going to bleed and I'm going to win. That didn't necessarily happen. Orange Cassidy fought back. Orange Cassidy cared. Jon Moxley didn't bleed. They told a story. They were in the ring the majority of the time. It was like they looked like they were trying to prove that they deserved to be in that main event. And they absolutely did that. And they threw down. And I loved that match. I think it was one of my favorites. I think that Miro and Powerhouse Hobbs had the match of the night. But Orange Cassidy and Jon Moxley absolutely proved that they deserved to be that main event. And they had something to prove. After all of the mess and all the drama and garbage and conspiracies and division that roster, that locker room has been under, and they just look like that they were like, okay, we are going to put all of that stuff behind us, and we are going to put on a good show, and we deserve to be in this main event. And they did that. So kudos to those guys for doing an amazing job during that match. Let me see what you guys say. You did get to acknowledge college football. Very good. My Georgia Bulldogs came out their first win. Of course, they didn't really face anybody, but it is what it is. Christine says, if Cassidy had to lose, I'm glad it was to Moxley. Yes, Jon Moxley did win, and he is the new international champion, if I forgot to mention that. Please, hopefully this is the last time All Out is in Chicago. We will see. Chicago did not turn on everybody like we were expecting them to. It was not brutal at all. The only time that there was really loud boos and just dissension in that arena was when the Young Bucks came out. It's like they don't blame it on Kenny Omega or Orange Cassidy or any of the other guys. They solely blame the Young Bucks for everything that happened, and those were the only guys that Chicago booed. So kudos to Chicago for raising to the occasion and not just totally turning against the entire show. They were there for those guys. So kudos to them. That was good. All right, guys. So that was All Out this past Sunday. Let us start and preview tonight's show. Starting off, we have a Grand Slam tournament match. We're going to have a tournament to see who faces MJF at Arthur Ashe for the AEW World Championship, and we'll see who wins this tournament. But first off, we have Darby Allin versus his friend Nick Wayne. This will be interesting. Nick Wayne did come out, and I think he did help Darby Allin to the back after his match at All Out. So it's a friend versus friend type situation. I don't know if Christian Cage or Luchasaurus is going to get involved in this, or, I think Swerve Strickland has moved on from this. So we'll see what happens. I expect Darby Allin to win this match, obviously. You never know, though. And it'll be a good match between the two. Next up, we have a tag team match. We have Aussie Open versus Sammy Guevara and Chris Jericho. Someone pointed out on Twitter the other day that, oh my goodness, we had a whole pay-per-view on All Out and Chris Jericho was nowhere to be found. And that was quite interesting. And I can't believe he wasn't on the pay-per-view, but he was not. He was not on the pay-per-view. But we're having, I think eventually Chris Jericho is going to turn on Sammy Guevara, and that's going to be our next little bout for that. I've been clamoring for that for a while. Let's make Sammy Guevara a full-fledged babyface, have him face Chris Jericho at some point. It would be really great. And I expect Aussie Open to win this match to create more dissension between those two. Timothy says, the card didn't build up any good storyline except Miro versus Powerhouse Hobbs. That's why it didn't get me interested, and it was too fast from last week's card. I understand that 100%. It's still, they surprised us, though, and it was a good card. So if you have a chance to watch it, do that. And Darby wins, and I got Aussie Open to win tonight. Yes, I think so, too. All right, next up, we'll hear from Hangman Adam Page, who did win a over-the-budget battle royal or something on 0 Hour. I didn't watch that. Didn't have time to watch 0 Hour, so I didn't. I know he donated the money he won to the Chicago Public School Fund or something like that, so good for him. I don't know what he's going to say. Maybe he's going to announce he's in this tournament coming up. I don't know what they have in store for Hangman Adam Page, but I guess we will find out here when we hear from him. So there we go. Harry, my friend Harry from Straight Up Wrestling Show, go check them out. They're trying to get Sammy in good graces with the fans. I don't know if Chris Jericho turning on him is going to do it, but it might. I think so. I think it would do it. Just have him reject all the shenanigans that Chris Jericho likes to do and have him go full-blown babyface. I think they didn't. That didn't make any sense. It is what it is. It was to get Hangman Adam Page on the card. Can't fault that. Next up, we have a TBS Open Championship Challenge. Chris Statlander versus Emi Sakura. Get Chris Statlander some wins behind her, make her look like a strong champion, and can't really fault this. And actually, I think this will be one of the few times that the TBS Championship will actually be on TBS. Usually she's on Collision or Rampage or something, and she's on TNT, and it's quite funny. Yes, she'll be on TBS. That's pretty cool. And obviously I see her winning this match. Yes, Chris Statlander wins. I think so too. All right, next up, we have another Grand Slam tournament with the best friends Trent Beretta, the one that I actually like, versus Roderick Strong. And of course, Roddy has been in a story involving MJF and Adam Cole and just going ballistic, seeing his former best friend Adam Cole chum it up with MJF. He does not trust MJF. He thinks that MJF is going to turn on Adam Cole, and he's trying to make Adam Cole turn on MJF first before that happens. He's been being all buddy-buddy with the Kingdom lately, and so we'll see if they have a play in this. He says he's going to win this tournament, and he is going to face MJF at Grand Slam, and he's going to take the title away from MJF, and he says he's going to do it without Adam Cole's help. Probably to get back at Adam Cole and MJF. It's to further the storyline. I see Roderick Strong going all the way in this tournament. I see Roderick Strong facing MJF at Grand Slam. MJF is not going to lose to Roderick Strong, however, and obviously because they're setting something up with Samoa Joe as well with MJF. So my prediction is that it'll be MJF versus Roderick Strong at Grand Slam. MJF wins, and then a couple weeks later, it'll be MJF versus Samoa Joe at Wrestle Dream. So it hasn't been out of the ordinary lately for the guys in AEW to have multiple storylines with multiple people going on at once. We saw it with CM Punk. We've seen it with Darby Allin. We've seen it with Sammy Guevara and Chris Jericho. So we'll see. It looks like they're continuing on with this trend. And of course, Adam Cole and MJF are also Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions. So we'll see that as well. Them facing different teams. We'll see what you guys think. Timothy says, I have Strong winning this match. Yes. Harry says, I am with you, Marie, on Trent Beretta. The guy is super talented. He is super talented. And Chuck Taylor, I can't stand him. And I think he should leave the best friends, but that's probably not going to happen. Christine, will Cole get another title shot, and do you think he'll win? I think that'll eventually be the thing. Either MJF will turn on Adam Cole at some point, or vice versa. They're going to play with it for a little while. It's going to be on the back burner. But I think eventually we will see Adam Cole versus MJF once again, and this time Adam Cole will go over on MJF. We will see. Maybe it won't be a turn, though. Maybe they'll just have another match at some point, and Adam Cole will win, and we'll have to see if MJF accepts that or not. I think that story would be more interesting than having someone turn on someone formerly before the match. If we see, okay, it's the end, MJF just lost, he lost his title, is he bitter? Is he going to take it out, or is he going to man up, quote unquote, like Adam Cole has done this entire time and accept that Adam Cole has beaten him. We'll see. We'll see what happens. This is not how I thought that MJF's title reign was going to go. I did not expect him to turn babyface. Obviously, I thought he was going to be a little jerk tyrant this entire time. Of course, MJF really hasn't changed all that much in character-wise. He's still what we call a scumbag, but he's our scumbag now. He did some scummy things in that match at All Out. He was chanting sportsmanship and went to shake one of the Dark Order guys' hands, but he pokes him in the eye afterwards. It's really funny. But yeah, he's still MJF, but he's just pandering to the crowd and having the time of his life while he's doing it. What's next? Okay, Jon Moxley puts on his newly won international championship on the line against AR Fox. AR, it is what it is. Jon Moxley's going to win. I don't know what they're going to do here, if they're going to further another angle. If Eddie Kingston's going to get involved in this somehow, I don't know. I know eventually it's going to lead to Moxley versus Eddie Kingston at some point. I would not push this yet because it has to be Eddie versus Claudio for the Ring of Honor Championship in 2 weeks. That has to be the match. That has to be the match. But I don't know. I don't know when that's going to happen. It should happen at some point. But it's just something that has to sit in the back of your head. They do a pretty good job. They do a pretty good job of long-term storylines in some cases. Now, sometimes they don't, but some cases they do. We'll see what happens. What do you guys think? Alma says, really enjoyed myself Saturday evening, even though I didn't feel too good. 2 words, hot garbage. Yeah. I'm glad you're feeling better. That's right. You weren't feeling good. Yes, we had a really awesome watch along for Payback and for Collision on Saturday night on Peaches and Power Bombs. And for some reason, that video is blowing up on YouTube. It's got over 250 views on it so far, and it keeps going up, and it's crazy. But, it's awesome. It's awesome. Timothy says, did you catch MJF's interview on Busted Open 2 weeks ago? I don't think I have, Timothy. Sorry. And he says that he thinks that Moxley's going to win. Christine is asking, didn't they used to be close? Yes. Jon Moxley and MJF tagged together for a little while. They even challenged the Young Bucks for the AEW World Tag Team Championship at one point at Double or Nothing 2001, I think. So, yep. Yes, and Eddie Kingston is still saying he cares about Moxley because he always tells Moxley to get out of his way. He doesn't want to hurt him. So that is all playing into it, and it's going to eventually turn into Eddie Kingston has to do something about Jon Moxley because he's going to have to exercise some tough love, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with that. It'll eventually have to turn into Moxley and Kingston once again. All right, guys. Well, that's the show for tonight. I think it's going to be an interesting one. We'll see what happens. I enjoyed All Out this past Sunday. I thought it was really good. And we will see how they build towards Grand Slam in 2 weeks and also Wrestle Dream in 4 weeks, I think. Wrestle Dream is in 4 weeks. So we'll see what happens with the build going towards that as well. Go Claudio, says Timothy. He's just asking for it again. Should I give it to him? You know what? We'll go ahead and give it to you.
Fight me! Fight me! Fight me! Fight me! Fight me! Don't fight me!
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. As always, please go and like and share and subscribe to the Real Wrestling Community on Facebook. Those guys are awesome over there. They do a lot of good work. Also, follow me on Peaches and Power Bombs on YouTube and Facebook. And I will see you guys later. Y'all have a good afternoon.